Good afternoon, everybody from Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm Matthew Alvarez. We will have President Trump's press conference today at 1:30 Eastern. He has a very busy day on Capitol Hill. As many of you know, he's going to meet with corporate America first in the sense of a number of CEOs and owners to discuss his 2025 vision for the country moving forward when it comes to his Agenda 47 items. We'll get to that in just a bit. He will also then meet with the National Republican Senatorial Committee. And then following those two major meetings in D.C. today, the president will then have a press conference at 1:30 Eastern. So this is a great time right now here at the early part of the broadcast to send this link to as many friends and family as you know as we broadcast live here at the RSBN studios. We do have cameras in Washington, D.C. for that press conference. We will be live for the duration of that press conference. We'll show it in its entirety. Some other networks may choose to dip in and dip out. Disregard that. We know right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, you'll have when President Trump takes to that podium to take on any questions from the media in Washington until he is done and walking away from that podium, we'll have that live coverage right here on Right Side. Once again, he'll be meeting with the National Republican Senatorial Committee. And prior to that, actually happening right this minute, he's meeting with the Business Roundtable. Now, we know that Mr. Kudlow is actually the person there. Larry Kudlow is monitoring that event, doing the MC with President Trump in front of the CEOs and owners. We're talking mega millionaires and billionaires there meeting with President Trump to discuss, again, that 2025 vision moving forward. Now, some of the topics that they'll be discussing today are part of Agenda 47, as I mentioned. America must have the lowest cost energy and electricity on earth is one of the topics. Making America energy independent again. Rescuing America's auto industry, and also cementing fair trade with the Trump Reciprocal Act. That Trade Act, of course, you hear President Trump in many speeches throughout the country talking about how he handled foreign leaders when it comes to a number of different products and that kind of thing with the trade there. So there's a number of other topics that will be discussed today. Now that meeting, the reason why we're not seeing that live right now, that roundtable discussion is actually closed to press. So there are no press availabilities there in Washington for the roundtable, but we will hear from President Trump a little bit later today, maybe within an hour from now, depending on how long that meeting is. And then again, he'll meet with Senate Republicans on Capitol Hill. Before we get to some more coverage and some talking points and some of the news of the day, I want to tell you about our friends at the Birch Gold Group. You know, at the end of the day, we know, and you've heard it here before, the BRICS nations, they are just trying to devalue the dollar on a constant basis. But thank God there's something called gold, silver, and precious metals. So if you want an info kit just to kind of get the ABCs on gold and silver and precious metals, you can go to texting Trump there to 9998. So that's Trump to 989898. For over 20 years, Birch Gold Group has actually helped tens of thousands of Americans by protecting their savings by converting an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. Birch Gold has earned my trust, of course, and many else out there because we hear a lot of great reviews. A lot of people are saying, you know, I'm glad that they did this. I'm glad that there's an option for when there's a situation where these countries are trying to devalue their dollar, devalue the US dollar, and use their own local currencies. And as we know, the way the United States goes in the sense of freedom and the economy most likely is the way the world goes. This is very important information. Text Trump to 9998. Once again, I'm Matthew Alvarez here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. You can follow us on Truth Social at RSBN. You can follow me if you'd like at Matthew Alvarez. Go ahead and give Vanessa Broussard a follow at Vanessa. And a number of great staff here at Right Side are on our Truth Social. So let's make this a community event, a global event in some ways, but definitely a national event for our country as we move forward and as we report to you the news and the information that we see, and also, once again, bringing you the live coverage from start to finish. That's at 1:30 today, Eastern Time. 12:30 here in the Central Time Zone, where President Trump will have a live press conference. Once again, for those of you watching right now, if you can just go ahead and send this text or just text somebody and say, hey, watch RSBN. They're the ones that are going to have the entire press conference live. No, don't worry about anchors, dipping into coverage there and saying, President Trump's there speaking, and we'll tell you what he has to say a little bit later. Instead of all of that, you're going to get the full-length coverage, live coverage, right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. Also, if you would like to follow us on the locals page, you can do that as well, RSBN, and also on Telegram. We've got a lot of great things out there for you. If you're looking for some of the latest news, whatever your favorite kind of social platform is, Right Side Broadcasting is on there, including on X. You see there on locals, on Telegram, and on my favorite, Truth Social. A great site there, of course. So those of you that have a Truth Social account, those of you that follow me on there, special hello to all of you. Thank you for following. Thank you for the kind words, just in general, as tomorrow's a big day, June 14th, of course, President Trump's birthday. It's Flag Day, and we'll have live coverage tomorrow from Palm Beach as Club 47. They're actually holding an event tomorrow, so President Trump will speak there. We will be live here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. A busy weekend, a busy week coming up. We'll get to that a little bit later as well. We'll have crews in Michigan for a TPUSA event, a rally in Detroit, so much going on. Tomorrow also, just real quick personal note, is my wife and I's first year anniversary, so that's also tomorrow. We didn't make it happen because it was Trump's birthday. It just happened to be on that day, so it worked out pretty good there too. So once again, I'm Matthew Alvarez here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. I want to share with you the RSBN countdown clock. It's just an informal thing that I just came up with. And the first Trump-Biden debate is on July 11th. That's June 27th. So that's 14 days away. That's the first Biden-Trump debate, June 27th, 14 days away. The Trump lawfare sentencing is on July 11th. That is 28 days away. And then for the RNC in Milwaukee, July 15th, 32 days away. And also a big announcement for the RNC. If you watched some of Dr. Phil's interview with President Trump recently, at the end of it, you heard something about Dr. Phil was trying to get it out of President Trump who his vice presidential pick will be. Well, President Trump said there that that would be announced at the RNC. So that is, again, 32 days away. We have early voting in each state, begins at various times, so you can check it out online, figure out what your county and your precinct and your state, when those are for your particular state. And finally, of course, the U.S. general election, November 5th. We are 145 days away from electing the next president of the United States. We'll be here all the way through with that coverage right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Now, Palm Beach Playbook, if you heard of that, it has a lot of great statistics on it. Since Biden took office, overall prices are up 20%. Gas prices are up 55.3%. Interesting, for those of you in the Northeast, I know it's at least $379, $380. Here in the South, it's back down to $289. Out there on the West Coast, I know you're dealing with a lot there, from Seattle all the way down to LA and San Diego and over to the mountain states in Denver and all around the country. We know that the gas prices, man, didn't President Trump tell us that in 2020, if there would be a loss there, that Biden would have high gas prices? Well, we see exactly that happening. The airfare costs are up 40%. 40%. It seems like if you've flown recently, I remember the other day I was talking with someone, a passenger sitting to my left, and we were saying how it seems like everywhere you go, the flights are extremely full. There's not, if you remember back in the day a little bit, there's always, a seat here, a seat there, or maybe two seats available. And if you had that, man, you felt like you were in first class. You can kind of kick back and relax. Well, now it seems like there are seats that are just all taken by passengers. It seems like there's less flights. And then the airfare is, according to this report here, 40% on the rise. Now, electricity prices, they're up 29%. Rent costs up 21%. Grocery prices also up 21%. A lot of negative news there, but we know that if we can get a conservative in the White House, we know that things can turn around, as they did between 2016 and 2020. In other major news, Merrick Garland has the situation where he's in contempt of Congress for failing to turn over the audio tapes of Robert Hur's interview of President Biden. So that's some big news. I saw this morning on Truth Social, Representative Eli Crane, among others, that voted yes on that. So that there, of course, these representatives are proud to say that that flavor of the week news report within the 24/7 news cycle, as soon as that starts going down with what happened after President Trump, then you have all of these stories about Fauci and congressional hearings. You've got Hunter Biden's conviction. Then you have Merrick Garland, being a contempt of Congress. Isn't that interesting that all of those things happen right after President Trump? It's simple. They can paint a picture all they want. President Trump is not the same as Hunter Biden, Merrick Garland, and Dr. Fauci. So interesting, once again, that news media, the news media and how that works. I just want to make people aware. Those of you, I know a lot of you are aware of that, and I'm preaching to the choir to many of you, but awareness is power and the truth is great. And that's what we like to cover here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. Constantly, and if there's ever an incorrect statement or an incorrect statistic, there's no, we're human, right? We'll look it up and fact check based into the Constitution and based into the story of what's happening. So we'll do our best constantly to bring you the facts and to bring you the latest news. As I just mentioned, the House of Representatives has held Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress. We already know that has been breaking news, but there are still a lot of questions to be answered moving forward as well. Changing gears right now to will Joe Biden have a contested convention at the DNC in Chicago? The question has been brought up. Will it be Joe Biden actually running against President Trump? Those are questions yet to be answered. We'll see what happens. You can see the writing on the wall in some ways with that. You wouldn't be surprised if there's a contest at the DNC in Chicago against Biden, or maybe someone else gets announced. Who knows? But I think more importantly right now, a lot of people are looking to see who the vice presidential pick will be for President Trump. Again, that will be at the RNC on July 15th. Not too far away, man. This summer is off to a quick start. Once again, today, as you read there, press conference expected to begin at 1:30 Eastern. That's on Capitol Hill. If you're just joining us right now, I'm Matthew Alvarez here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. And the Business Roundtable is happening right now in Washington. It's closed to the press. So President Trump's meeting with corporate America to discuss his economic policies moving forward, 2025 and beyond, if he's elected in November. And also the National Republican Senatorial Committee. That's where President Trump will head with his staff and the campaign, from the roundtable then to the committee, and then that 1:30 press conference. So we'll have that live right here on Right Side. If you'd like to donate to Right Side Broadcasting, you can do so by going to rsbnetwork.com/donate. Not bought and paid for by the big corporate execs out there, but the ones that are, capitalist or for a free market or are conservative, a shout out to them. But to those corporate execs that are more woke, well, that's not the network that you'll be advertising on anytime soon, I don't think, unless you change some ways there. But the point is, we're not bought and paid for, and it is you, the American people, that has provided the support financially and the love online and watching the broadcast since day one in 2015 all the way till now and all the way to the future. So if you have a couple extra bucks, go ahead and donate to this broadcast, as we will have a live camera at any minute from now when we're set up in Washington, where we will have at the podium, where President Trump will take to that podium, address some of the questions. Always interesting to see how the press treats not only President Trump, but MTG and Kerry Lake and Matt Gaetz and anyone from the Trump campaign. They act like they're not biased, but at the end of the day, we know that that's the case. Now, that's a very interesting topic I think I just brought up there with the whole bias situation. In media, it seems like, you hear the news reporting, you hear what people call the facts, right? We want to know what the truth is, and then there are opinion editorials that happen right after that. You've got the op-eds, right? From the New York Times to the Washington, as President Trump calls it, the Washington Post, of course. you hear the news, the facts, and then the op-eds, and then you see the bias that's happening. Obviously, in the cable networks, you see that a lot. There's a lot of opinion editorial. Here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, I'm looking to, and I believe this network is looking to have a balanced approach. News and facts and opinion, editorial, and commentary based off of those news and facts. So a fact is, and I know I bring up gas prices a lot because that's something we all have to deal with, right? Unless you're living in New York or a place that has a lot of transit systems and you don't have a car because you don't need one, or if you're in D.C. But 80% of America has a vehicle, and so the facts are the gas prices were a lot lower between 2016 and 2020. And now they're a lot higher under a new administration. That's a fact, right? That's irrevocable. That's proven by just looking at the gas station signs and seeing what those numbers are. So there's a fact. And then we talk about the fact that President Trump, or if it wasn't President Trump, if it was a conservative candidate, or if it was an independent candidate, the point is, if it's somebody that's going to lower gas prices, make America independent again, that's what you've heard before with some of the commentary and the opinion editorial. So once again, we'll be working to balance the coverage for truth and facts and opinion editorial with commentary right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Once again, I'm Matthew Alvarez here live in the Right Side Studios. If you'd like to follow us, it's at RSBN on Truth Social, and I'm at Matthew Alvarez. If you'd like to give a special hello and a shout out to you guys watching there at home. Now, election integrity, of course, is always a big topic that we discuss here at Right Side and across both sides of the spectrum. I mean, I believe that hopefully there are people on the left and I know on the right that would like to have a free and fair election. There are a number of places out there, I mentioned this at our last broadcast, where you can help. You can help make sure that there is a free and fair election. There are 3 sites that I can think of right now, and there's others out there. Mike Lindell's Cause of America. You also have True the Vote and PrecinctStrategy.com. If you're looking at ways to figure out what you can do to make sure that, hey, at least we have eyes on what's going on as much as possible to have a free and fair election and to secure elections and to have election integrity, those are 3 sites. Once again, the reason why I'm talking about this is I believe it's very, very important. So it's worth listing off these sites here. So that's Cause of America. So if you Google search or if you use DuckDuckGo, it's Mike Lindell's Cause of America. You also have True the Vote and PrecinctStrategy.com are 3 great sites to learn more about election integrity moving forward, as we are about 5 months and maybe 25 days. I know it's exactly 145 days until the election, so a lot of work to be done on the way to this election. And then, of course, today, a big day here on June 13th as President Trump meets with corporate America for that business roundtable discussion. So a lot of news will be coming out of that, I believe, and also from the senatorial committee that he'll meeting with, so a number of Senate Republicans. You'll hear all about that and more during that press conference that you see right there on your screen at 1:30 Eastern. We'll have you live in D.C. We have a Right Side Broadcasting Network crew there on the ground in Washington, and we'll see how the back and forth is with the press, and I'll comment on that in just a second. But I do want to tell you about the Tax Network USA. Tax Network USA, have any filing issues, or maybe you missed filing this past April, or maybe you didn't in years past? Well, that group right there will help you along the way. They'll assist you through every step to help you file correctly, to get everything taken care of, whether you have $10 or $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 or more in back taxes. Tax Network USA, you see that number on your screen. Go ahead and give them a call. Reach out to them. Be transparent with them. The more transparent you are with a group like this, the more they can help you. And they're coming from the right place, right? From a conservative standpoint, and they want to assist you to pay back taxes and assist you with any of the filing questions you may have. So once again, Tax Network USA, one of our great sponsors here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. We did tell you about the newsletter, donating as well. We will have some exciting coverage this weekend Starting tomorrow, Club 47 in Palm Beach. We'll have that live coverage for you. We'll have a couple correspondents there that we'll be throwing to, or they'll be taking the live coverage as well. And then on Saturday, there will be a tvOS event where Vanessa Broussard will be live, and President Trump will be speaking at that. Now, that's the People's Convention. That's a huge event in Michigan this weekend. So President Trump, of course, the main speaker there, along with a number of great conservative either candidates or people from in Washington that are America First, and also other conservative personalities there for that Charlie Kirk event. On top of that, Saturday is a very busy day. We've got also in Detroit, Michigan, a Trump event as well. So I'm not sure if it's a full-blown rally. I think it's a mini rally. At the end of the day, anything that Trump does when it comes to events and it's a speech, you might as well call it a rally. I've been at plenty of them. You guys have watched myself and other correspondents live all across this country. And as you know, whether it's inside a small gym area or in an arena or in a stadium or out there in a field like it was in hot Vegas the other day, Las Vegas, man, that was pretty wild when Paul and Gracia, Vanessa Broussard were live for that event with President Trump. No matter the weather, it seems that people just show up because they want to not only hear President Trump and not only hear his Agenda 47, but also the camaraderie and the family and the community aspect. You know, you think about it, a lot of red is worn there, right? You got the hats and the shirts and the T-shirts and all of that, right? But not every day do you see that, right? If you go to the grocery store, not everybody's sporting that gear. So you think about it, there's so many people out there in this country that are pro-God and pro-gun and pro-America, pro-Constitution, pro-the Bible, pro-President Trump in this case, because he is the one that is the conservative candidate running once again, of course, for office. So it's interesting to see the amount of people throughout this country that are at those events. And then on top of that, the polls, right? You see a lot of polls out there, and some of them show a very close range between President Trump and Mr. Biden. And so what we see is no matter what poll it is, there is a lead there for President Trump. Now, what's the truth with that, right? You see the numbers. You see, say, 47.1% versus Biden's 46.8 or whatever the breakdown is. You know, how true are those polls? You know, it's interesting because a lot of times they're polling maybe 1,300 people, or in some cases 7,000, or, well, all I know is you see the poll numbers, but then you see the boots on the ground. And that, just like I was referring to before, if you were watching earlier about the gas prices, you can't hide from the proof. The proof's right there, especially if you drive down the street and you see a gas price, what it was in 2016 to 2020 and what it is now. It's the same thing when it comes to Republican versus Democrat right now. The Republican candidate, when you see him out there and you see the amount of people, you see the large numbers. When you have the Democrat, that's the current commander-in-chief or divider-in-chief, whatever you'd like to call it, you don't see that many people, and you see a lot of fakery, if that's even a word. I think it is, fakery going on, right? A lot of claps at awkward times. Mr. Biden did salute, if you saw this, see, I'm a news junkie, right? So I watch as much as I can, and if I miss something, you know, I hope to have the team just send me something, because what happened today was Biden actually awkwardly saluted the Italian prime minister at the G7 summit. So they were kind of taking a photo op, and she was talking to Biden there, and he just kind of, you know, saluted at her. It's kind of all around social media, but we can't have the leader, so-called leader of the free world, saluting any other leaders, or in some cases, back in the day with a Democrat president bowing to other leaders. We know as the American people, we would like to have a strong leader, a compassionate leader, and one that has a Agenda 47 where you have peace through strength. So, I mean, regardless, again, if that wasn't President Trump, if it wasn't called Agenda 47, I'm talking about, there's something I believe that's bigger than all of that. It's the truth, and it is common sense. And that's what's awesome about the situation is you do have certain candidates, really namely one, right, that line up with more truth and common sense. Peace through strength, that's a great thing. That's not showing that you want to start any new wars. That's lower gas prices. That's making America great again. I mean, I would think Democrats would say, you know, that's a good idea. Let's make America great again. Why wouldn't you want something that is good for everyone that is in this country? Whatever side you lean on, we want the country to be great. And we would prefer that the world would be great. You know, great is about freedom. Great is about law and order. Great is good. So at the end of the day, that's, I believe, what a lot of you that are watching are looking for in this nation. And hopefully with any liberal connections or if you have any friends that are liberals, that they would see that light and they would say, you know, you're right. It's getting a little bit turbulent out there, and we would like to have peace and safety and security in this land. We would like to have our freedoms continue as the Constitution has in it since day one in 1776. And that's what we're looking for. So that's what we're talking about here as we are about to get to the top of the hour, 1 o'clock on the East Coast. And 12 o'clock here Central Time Zone in Alabama, live from the Right Side Broadcasting Network studios. We'll have President Trump at 1:30. We'll have a live shot from Washington, D.C. of that press conference. And as soon as our cameras are allowed into that area and are set up, we'll have that kind of like a split screen and a smaller screen where you'll have that live footage. And that's what we want to provide to you, and that's what we do provide to you. It's not me just talking here all the time or a correspondent out in the field. But in the meantime, we do have the pre-shows that lead you right into the live coverage where President Trump and others today, I believe, will be speaking at that podium. As, again, President Trump, if you're just joining us, has a business roundtable with corporate America. A lot of CEOs and owners, a lot of very wealthy people will be at that meeting. Hearing from President Trump, Larry Kudlow is going to be the MC there interviewing Mr. Trump, and President Trump will be talking about his agenda for the future if he wins from then 24 and for the next 4 years. And then President Trump will meet with the National Republican Senatorial Committee and discuss various topics there. The first event that I was just referring to on Capitol Hill with the corporate America meeting is closed to the press. So this press conference should have a lot of news today here on June 13th, here on Thursday, June 13th, and we'll have a lot of new tidbits of information about how today has went for Agenda 47 as well, as President Trump will be discussing that in front of a number of people. Most likely it will be live on some networks, but I'll tell you, again, you have no question here at Right Side Broadcasting Network when it comes to live coverage from start to finish. And, you know, believing also that this network will be protected when it comes to, you know, belief through God and the Constitution and freedom of speech as we move forward as this election gets closer. Chris Pavlovsky, speaking of CEOs, he recently said on Truth Social, there are only 3 public companies that he's aware of that are relentlessly fighting against the corrupt system. And he put there the $DJT, $RUM, and $PSQH. He said, these are the vehicles of the parallel economy, and this is where it all started. Those 3 that I'm referring to, Truth Social, Rumble, and Public Square. Truth Social, Rumble, and Public Square. I thought that was a great comment by the CEO of Rumble, which was on Truth Social just recently, where Chris was on there posting that. If you're not on Truth Social and you're watching this, please go ahead and get on Truth, get on Telegram, wherever you'd like to follow Right Side. We appreciate you following, and any comments you'd like to make, any donations, if you'd like to get that newsletter. Once again, it's rsbnetwork.com/newsletter to get some great reporting into your email inbox there. And anytime we have any breaking news here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, we will bring it to you live. For now, I'm Matthew Alvarez. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Parents and grandparents, the 2024 Kids Guide to President Trump is here, and it's free. As a bonus, your child gets a free issue of Everbright Kids Magazine and Activity Book, and a free video lesson. Order now at freetrumpbook.com. That's freetrumpbook.com.
What's up, guys? My name is Jaden Hurd, and I'm the host of the Let It Be Heard show here on RSBN channel. I would love for you guys to check me out. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Rumble, YouTube. We release episodes every single week regarding culture, Bible, social issues, politics, current events, anything. So if you're into any of that stuff, I highly recommend you check me out. God bless you guys, and stay safe out there.
I'm excited to announce we're having a huge MyPillow spring sale, and here's a few examples. Buy one of our MyPillow 2.0s, you get another MyPillow 2.0 absolutely free. Made with cooling technology, the best pillow ever just got even better. And this just in, 9 brand new colors and styles of our Percale bed sheets. They're made with the finest long staple cotton, and now you can save 50% or more. That's as low as $24.98. And for the first time this year, I'm bringing you our My Slippers and Sandals for as low as $25 a pair. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your MyPillow 2.0s. Buy one, get one free. Percale sheets as low as $24.98. My Slippers and Sandals as low as $25 a pair. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free.
Welcome to the Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're not like the other media outlets out there that cut and edit what other people say. In 2015, we were created by our founder, Joe Seals, to cover President Donald J. Trump's speeches and rallies, to which we continue to do to this day. We've also covered important conservative events like CPAC, tvOS, March for Life, and many other important events and hearings around the country. We were made for people like you, everyday Americans who are tired of the mainstream media, who are tired of being lied to, manipulated, and fed an agenda. Our goal here at Right Side Broadcasting is to allow you to see the truth, giving our correspondents and commentators a wide latitude to speak their minds. You won't find anything like this in the mainstream media. Your support through your donations, locals, and supporting our advertisers allows us to continue to cover important events around the country each and every day. So, from us here at Right Side Broadcasting, thank you for supporting us and the right side of history.
Welcome back to live coverage here in Auburn, Alabama. I'm Matthew Alvarez at the Right Side Broadcasting Network studios as we await President Trump, who will be addressing the media at 1:30 Eastern, 12:30 here in the Central Time Zone. For those of you watching out there on the West Coast, hello to you guys as well. President Trump saying on Truth Social around 10:25 Central Time, great meeting with Republican representatives. Lots discussed, all positive, great poll numbers. That's from President Trump, his latest Truth Social post there in Washington. As I mentioned, a business roundtable with corporate CEOs and owners, and then a meeting with the National Republican Senatorial Committee. And we will bring you that live press conference as soon as it starts here on Right Side. Now, we do want to tell you about the wellness company as we go into the hot summer days here in the South, but also across the country. There's a ivermectin, Z-Pak, and more within an emergency kit that the wellness company will provide to you as you go to makecaregreatagain.com. This is something that is great to have in the vehicle, in a house, whatever you need, because at the end of the day, viruses, bacteria, all of that, there are a lot of pharmaceutical companies out there pushing a lot of different things, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of research that has gone into what is being used there within that emergency info kit and that emergency kit there with makecaregreatagain.com. You will fill out a medical questionnaire to make sure everything's on the up and up and everything's good, and then you'll receive that kit in the mail. All you got to do is makecaregreatagain.com. That Z-Pak is always good to have. Ivermectin, is also good. But of course, consult your physician and go to makecaregreatagain.com. Get all the information you need. Once again, that's makecaregreatagain.com. So today, we know, again, as the president will speak at 1:30, and for our future coverage, which is only right around the corner, so tomorrow, Mr. President Donald Trump will have his birthday and also a Club 47 event in Palm Beach. We'll have live coverage there for that entire speech. And also on Saturday through the weekend, the People's Convention in Detroit, Michigan. There will be an event there. President Trump will speak at that. He'll also speak in Detroit at a rally as well. So a very busy day for Right Side Broadcasting Network on Saturday. You can tune in by watching on Rumble or on our app or on the website. We also air on YouTube as well. You know, there's a lot of apps out there to follow, but Right Side Broadcasting will give you live coverage, not only on Rumble, but also on the app and the website as well. So I know a lot of you watch, and a lot of you will watch, of course, I know on Saturday, as it's going to be an exciting time in Detroit, as our Vanessa Broussard will also be there on the ground in Michigan for the tvOS event at the People's Convention. And we'll also have that live coverage with the Trump event. Looking to next week on Tuesday, it looks like Wisconsin, President Trump will be in your neck of the woods, so we'll have live coverage on that night as well. I believe that is the 18th. Let me take a live look. Yep, the 18th. Tuesday the 18th, we'll have coverage from Wisconsin. We'll have a crew there as well to cover President Trump's speech, but also we'll see if there's any news that comes out of today's press conference, which will be at 1:30 Eastern Time. A number of things I was looking at the other day about the narrative and about the sway of public opinion and how important it is with messaging and also with the optics and how things look, right? Even though it might not be true. And so, as many of you know, on the left, mainstream media for years has constantly and still does and most likely always will lie to the American people, being the mouthpiece for people that are in office that are on the left wing, right? So what we're looking to do is see through the lies and through the false narratives on the conservative media side, whether that's an online publication or whether that's on a network like Right Side. You know, we're looking to cut through all of that propaganda that's done. Propaganda is based in my opinion, anti-God, anti-Bible, anti-Constitution, anti-freedom. So if they're going to be lying about things to get away from those things I just talked about and I just listed, what's on the other side? Where can you find some news that you can trust? Where's people that you resonate with? And it's that outsider network or that outsider online publication or those outsider presidents that we have seen in 2016 to 2020 or those outsider conservative media personalities, because we the people and the founding fathers, as you know, were outsiders. We were against the system, not trying to, today, right, we're not, it's an info war. It's not a physical war, it's an info war. We're trying to be against the system in the sense of not going and saying, okay, well, you said that we have to do this. Well, do we? I mean, what does the Constitution have to say about that? And that is the law of the land, as you know. And I know that that's what we in the conservative media will line up with, as that is the outsider perspective. And as you've heard, President Trump on many Truth Social posts has pretty cool narrations about being an outsider and the importance of that. So this is all information that for decades, I've worked in media for about 20 years when I started at Robert Morris University. A shout out to Robert Morris out there in Moon Township in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I first got in front of a camera and did some local news there at the campus and had a show called Life Factor, and it was more of a faith-based show, and did some sports, which was always fun for those of you guys that like sports. I like sports, it's fun stuff, right? But after all these years of working in local news and seeing international newsrooms and national newsrooms in person, being an intern at one of the cable networks and have been in London at the BBC, and seen what it's like inside, and to know that all of these places are literally mainstream media, left wing, trying to go against what I mentioned earlier, against freedom, against God, against the people of Brazil. I bring them up a lot, I know, but the people of China, the people of this country. It's the free world. So finally there is a media that is a representative of the free world, of the free United States of America. And so to be working on the left wing for so long, the reason why you might see me being like passionate about this or talking about this in this way is because I've had to hold that in. Because if I ever went on a local news broadcast and said, I'm going to be straight up, I'll say it because I'm just being honest with you guys. Jesus Christ is my savior and Trump is my president. If I said something like that, that's not going to fly on the local news or on a national news outlet usually. So to be able to say things because of freedom of speech like that, and to cover news, and again, I mentioned earlier, if there's something that's incorrect, a statement or a statistic, and it's brought to our attention or anybody, I believe, within conservative media, you'll just say, okay, this was incorrect, but this is true. Here's the fact of it. But obviously there's a lot more truth being reported, I believe, on the right side of history. And that's what you have right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. So a shout out to all of you that have been watching as you take a live look right now in Washington, D.C. This is on Capitol Hill, where President Trump will speak at 1:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Central Time Zone, and that would be 10:30 in the morning for those of you watching anywhere in Phoenix, San Francisco, LA, and surrounding areas. Thank you so much for watching. This will be a great press conference coming up again at 1:30 Eastern as President Trump met with a business roundtable. And then he met with the National Republican Senatorial Committee. So a lot of news to come out of that room right there. A lot of press, I'm sure, there live right now, awaiting that press conference with the 45th president. I believe there will be a number of people there with the 45th president to discuss what was discussed today. And we will bring you that press conference as soon as that starts. As soon as that door opens and Mr. Trump gets to that podium, we will go live there for the entire press conference, including the questions and answers that you will hear there live. A lot of times it seems like as soon as the president, when he was in New York in the courthouse, right, he'd walk over to the fences there inside that courthouse, and you'd hear one voice try and beat all of the other reporters and shout out a question, usually a left slanted question trying to make headlines. At the end of the day, it's not really the job of the reporter to always try and make news in the sense of those kind of questions, especially when it comes to questions that are so left wing and not even accurate. It's obviously it's a free country. And we have freedom of the press, so we can, shout out those questions. But it's just interesting that it's always a left-wing reporter that's trying to say something like, let me give you an example. I'm sorry that I've rambled on so long. Didn't give you a good example. One is, how does it feel to be a convicted felon? Are you serious? That's the first question you're going to ask. You're just going for the salacious stuff. At the end of the day, it's a lawfare court system that's coming against the president. I'm not just saying that. There have been hundreds of people that have said that all across media, all across social media, and we know what's happening. We see what's happening. But isn't that interesting? That's the first question that you hear. What's it like to be really? Again, you can't paint President Trump. You can't paint Donald Trump to Hunter Biden. You can't paint President Trump to Merrick Garland. You can't paint him to Dr. Fauci. And these three people have been discussed a lot in the media recently through whether it's a congressional hearing, through court, through contempt of Congress, right on the heels of President Trump's conviction. So we see through that, right? I know you, the American people, see through it. every time that Mr. Trump goes to all of these events, whatever arena it is, I think it's pretty awesome that he goes to UFC fights. I know some of you might not be into, the boxing and that kind of violent sport, which it is. It is, right, Ultimate Fighting Championship. But I think it's awesome that he goes to those events. He went to that Iowa State game. You remember last year when he was campaigning in the primaries. With the Iowa State Cyclones. He goes out to all these events. He stops by at random pizza shops. People of all backgrounds are shouting and saying good things about Mr. Trump. And again, these are facts that I'm talking here. This is not my opinion. Those are the facts that we see happening. And I think that at the end of the day, when you see the polls as well, there are close poll numbers between Biden and the 45th president. But really, how close are they in reality? When we see the people that are at these events, when you have a Trump event, whether President Trump's in attendance or whether he's not, and whether it's someone from the Trump campaign or whether it's Don Jr. or MTG or Kerry Lake, you see all of these America First candidates and America First patriots that are repping the people, that are there for the people. And I know we only have a few in Washington, and it's interesting to see President Trump there in the swamp today, but hopefully the swamp will be drained and that press conference will go hopefully well in the next 14 minutes. We'll see if it starts right at 1:30, but we will have it live. We do have that coverage again through the weekend as well, if you'd like to watch Right Side Broadcasting Network. For those of you watching here on Thursday, and it's 12:15 in Dallas, if you're in Texas watching right now, go ahead and pass this on to some people as we'll see what President Trump has to say as he has met with corporate heads earlier. So we're talking CEOs and owners of huge multi-billion-dollar companies, where President Trump has shared his 2025 economic vision and to the future, and then meeting with Senate Republicans. So once again, a lot of news will come out of this press conference. We'll have that here for you in just a bit. Once again, if you'd like to follow us on Truth Social at RSBN or at Matthew Alvarez, you can do that on Truth. And we have a lot of great sponsors here with us as well. That provide the way for this live coverage, for our camera crew who's there in D.C., our camera crew who will be in Detroit tonight and actually tomorrow into the weekend for so many events going on through the weekend. Will be a good time there to see you guys watch tomorrow night and also on Saturday moving forward. So any donation that you could give to the network that will help provide everything from the lights, camera, the correspondence, the live coverage, wall-to-wall coverage of everything that happens when it comes to whether it's a breaking news story. We'll do our best to definitely put it out there on Truth Social or out there on X. I mean, there's 980,000 followers on Elon Musk's X right now. Let's get that to 1 million. There's about 670,000 plus on Truth Social. Why not get that to 800,000 soon, right? And the only way that happens is literally you, the American people, who have been so faithful to Right Side Broadcasting Network since day one, to continue to let people know about this network, but also Truth Social. And if you also want, again, to help in the sense of through the election security, election integrity. We were discussing that earlier, or I was discussing that earlier with True the Vote and Cause of America and PrecinctStrategy.com. You can also, those of you that are bold enough, can also share that information and share Truth Social and Right Side with so many people. Think about it. If you see somebody with a American flag on their hat, or if you're walking with your family, walking with your wife, or you're walking with your husband, walking the dog, and you see somebody out there mowing the lawn, and you strike up a conversation, and they've got an American flag out, they might not have ever heard of Truth Social or Right Side Broadcasting Network. And a lot of you are probably like, how could you not know about that? Well, I think because there's a huge swath of Americans that know about, obviously, President Trump and know what's going on with the mainstream media and all that, but they stay arm's length. They don't want to kind of get involved with it. They have their own lives going on, and they don't want to really get too close to it because obviously it's a turbulent time in this country. So I don't blame them, some of them, right? I don't blame them. You work, you put food on the table, you go on a vacation, you have your faith, your family, your friends, right? And you keep the news over to the side. That makes sense to a lot of people, but it's time now, because those people, I can guarantee you, have it in their heart that they don't want our country to go down. They don't want us to lose any of the Constitution. They don't want any of that to happen. So those are the people that you can strike that conversation up with, for those of you that like to do that, right? And let them know. Say, hey, Truth Social, it's kind of like Twitter, but it's conservative. There are people on the left on there as well. I mean, the Biden-Harris campaign has a Truth Social account. But the point is, just let them know about that, and Right Side Broadcasting Network as well. And also, you can let them know about the freetrumpbook.com. Mike Huckabee has that book there, and he will send that to you, his team out of Tennessee, freetrumpbook.com. And you can learn more about President Trump's successes between his first administration, between 2016 and 2020. And also, it corrects that narrative, if you've been watching since the top of the broadcast, that false narrative or that swaying public opinion, right? Because somebody sits like this in a suit and a male or female anchor or host, whatever you may have watched or whatever you have read, and it sounds like it's news and it sounds like it's true because we've verified our sources, whatever. Those days of people that are saying, well, this is the truth, listen to me, most of them are mainstream media. What you're getting here, yeah, I might say this is the truth, but you can see that I'm speaking things that are common sense, though. You can see that I'm speaking things that are based in I believe in truth. And of course, again, as I mentioned earlier, I would love to balance even more out with more news reporting and facts, which we have shared with you and we will continue to share with you as we will bring you that press conference today, and we'll have a recap after that. But that freetrumpbook.com, as you saw there, that's what I'm talking about, is the indoctrination of the way that some of the institutions, the schools, have brainwashed the youth. And that's why it's great to see a book like that, freetrumpbook.com. So get yours today. It's free. Pay a little bit of shipping and handling, and you'll get that book to you. And you can share that with your family, your kids. But it's also bringing good context in when you never know when a social studies teacher or a history teacher or anything in economics or the way the country is, right? You can hear where that teacher is coming from. Maybe that teacher is in line with truth, or maybe they're not, right? Well, this kind of book will help provide that. So that's freetrumpbook.com as we take a live look back there in Washington, D.C. As President Trump will be speaking in the next 7 minutes or so. It just depends, of course, how the meeting has gone with the roundtable discussion with those corporate leaders, and then also the National Republican Senatorial Committee. Once those meetings are complete, I believe that the roundtable is done and that the Senatorial Committee is also complete, because President Trump said on Truth Social, quote, "Great meeting with Republican representatives." He said lots discussed, all positive, great poll numbers, end quote. That's from DJT on Truth Social. So once that 1:30 press conference starts, we'll bring that to you in its entirety. And, last time we were here was the Phoenix broadcast, where it was Chase the Vote out there for TPUSA. And I was mentioning how it's always interesting to hear the Q&A from the American people in the audience. Quick shout out to Charlie Kirk on that, and Candace Owens as well. They're so great at being able to just hit back with something, in the info war. If somebody asks a question, they kind of correct it right away. Same thing with MTG, Kerry Lake, President Trump, Matt Gaetz, Byron Donalds, Eli Crane, Matt Rosendale, Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, everybody, right? Mike Lindell. You're going to see that here today. You're going to hear, in the swamp, President Trump stepping to that microphone and taking on the left-wing media. And we'll hear what kinds of topics. A lot of times as a reporter, even though today was this Republican meeting with some of the Senate leaders and also that business roundtable, I believe President Trump will come out there, he'll speak about that, and then a lot of times these reporters will come out there and say, well, I have an off-topic question, or can I have or they'll just dive right into it. So this is going to be an interesting back and forth. This reminds me of, remember when President Trump took on Jim Acosta over at CNN? Jim Acosta, he stands up there, front and center, front row, and would stand right there looking at the leader of the free world, Donald Trump. And he kept trying to interrupt President Trump, and he had his Q&A back and forth. But President Trump was like, "Sit down," and your fake news and that kind of thing. And then you remember one of the staffers there tried to take the mic from Jim Acosta, and he kind of it was a whole thing. Interesting stuff when you see President Trump there speak. I mean, it is still entertaining, to be honest, because all those years of him doing The Apprentice, that was entertaining stuff, right? So we'll see him talk there in a second. Before we get to that, let's talk about Birch Gold Group once again, because the BRICS nations, whether it's Brazil or Russia, India, China, South Africa, and the list goes on, they're trying to use their local currency instead of the US dollar, and that is devaluing our dollar. So until we hopefully get a conservative candidate in the White House, and even beyond, Birch Gold Group can send you an info kit, and we'll give you all the details that you need moving forward when it comes to gold, silver, precious metals. All you have to do is text Trump to 9898. So text Trump to 989898. Even if right now you say, I don't have an extra dollar to spend, I can't invest $10 into gold. Well, maybe you can soon. Maybe you get that new job, or maybe somehow, some way, you're able to get to the next level and have a few extra dollars. Even if that's just not going to happen for you, still, why not get the info kit and just kind of read up on it? Because maybe you have a friend or a family member that would be interested in doing that can help and provide the whole situation for you. Text Trump to 9998. I actually have not ever texted Trump to 9998, so I'm going to do that right here on the air because I'd like to have a free info kit myself. So I'm texting Trump to 9998, Trump to 989898989898. And there you go. I'm going to send that off right now. I'd like to learn a bit more myself personally on it, and not just kind of tell you about a great sponsor we have, but also learn about it. It says here, once you receive that message, it says RSBN special, protect your savings from Biden inflation, get your free info kit from Birch Group here, and it gives you a link. And it says reply stop to cancel. So if you just want to get that link and not get any more text, it's a free country, right? So go ahead and do what you like there. But a little bit later, I'll click on that and take a look at that. So once again, it's Trump to 9998. You can get that info kit, read up on it, and see if that's something that you would want to have for you and your family. So we are looking live once again. There you see some security, I believe, there. That might be a Secret Service agent. They're standing to the right of the podium, left on the screen. That is a good sign in the sense of a possibility of President Trump being right on time. That would be 120 seconds from now. And then we'll see what he has to say and hear the news that comes out of today's press conference, where once again, he had a business roundtable on Capitol Hill and then met with the National Republican Senatorial Committee. And then he'll face those questions there and see. I'm sure there'll be a lot of news today. I'm sure he'll bring up, or some of the reporters will bring up any of the news topics in a 24/7 news cycle, anything from Hunter Biden to Merrick Garland, possibly Fauci, and anything, of course, with the situation in whether it's New York, D.C., Georgia, when it comes to various cases that the left is bringing against Mr. Trump. So there could be a lot of news today, and you'll see it right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. You can follow us on Truth Social at RSBN. And if you'd like to follow me, it's at Matthew Alvarez. Thank you so much for watching right here on Right Side. As we prepare to go into a very busy weekend, as President Trump had a very busy day today, he's going to have a huge weekend going from Washington, then back down to Florida. Then he'll fly up to Michigan for a Saturday event. He'll be in Florida today and tomorrow, Friday, June 14th, to celebrate his birthday, to also celebrate Flag Day. Club 47 will have a great event there in Palm Beach tomorrow. And then 48 hours from now, he'll be in Detroit, Michigan to hold a mini rally of sorts there. And then there will be the tvOS event for that People's Convention. Once again, if you're just joining us, there's going to be a huge a number of conservative personalities and political candidates, and also people that are just well known. A huge list of people, with President Trump being the keynote. That'll be on Saturday. We'll have our coverage live there. And then it looks like at this point, a day off on Monday for President Trump in the sense of the campaign rally situation. There will be one on Tuesday in Wisconsin as well. That will be happening, and we'll have live coverage right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Looking at some of the polls, if you look at, regardless what poll it is, and any key state polls, the swing states, we know that the president is leading in all of those key swing states. I've traveled with the team and others, anywhere from Nevada to Pennsylvania. The June 27th event will be in Atlanta, where President Trump will be debating Joe Biden for that event. So that's only about 14 days away from now. Also, the producers, if I can let you know that the IFB is out of commission at this second. I just want to let you know that. And I will tell you about the numbers of countdown that we have here. So the first Trump-Biden debate, as we see some activity going on there right now. So I might hold off on that until we see some more people. But the President Trump-Biden debate is June 27th. That is 14 days from now. The Trump lawfare sentencing is July 11th. That's 28 days from now. As we're seeing some activity there, we'll be going there live as soon as we see it. RNC in Milwaukee, that's July 15th. That's 32 days from today. Now, it's also during the RNC that President Trump will announce his vice presidential pick. He said that at the end of a Dr. Phil interview from just last week, or a week and a half ago. And then, of course, the U.S. general election is November 5th. That's 145 days away. So we'll be going there live any moment on Capitol Hill, as a number of people are stepping out of that room there, as we are 2 minutes past the start time there for that press conference. So we're looking like a pretty much on time press conference there at 1:33 now on the East Coast. That looked like that was Mitt Romney that walked by. I'm sure a lot of you guys are big supporters of Mitt Romney that are watching right now. That's a joke. So as soon as 45 steps to the podium, we'll take you there live. It's great to have one of our camera crews there in that room with the rest of the press and rest of the media. All of the Washington D.C. press, most likely from the local news, national news, and even international news represented there. I was recently in Washington D.C. and saw just wanted to visit, just various places out there with my family, and you see a lot of international press outside of the White House. It was a beautiful day there, and from whether it's Norway, Germany, Italy, it's just a constant thing. There's obviously international press bureaus from all over the world that are based in D.C., and they're constantly covering all things Washington and all of the politics there in the swamp. But today, we've got somebody that's an outsider in D.C. There are a few outsiders, of course, in Washington. I mentioned a few earlier, Eli Crane, MTG. Hopefully someday, or maybe someday, Kerry Lake, Matt Rosendale, Paul Gosar. There's a number of others. If I didn't say Matt Gaetz as well. So there's only a few there, but the Eagle has landed, President Trump there in Washington, as we wait for this live coverage that will come down. I just saw, I think that was Senator Josh Hawley. There's J.D. Vance, So two great patriots as well walking into the room there. It looks like a smaller kind of room there that President Trump will be speaking to the press. And it looks like, as you can see, a number of Senate leaders will be there accompanying the president. And I believe at this point we'll be standing right there alongside him at the podium as the president has this press conference. I do believe that, and this isn't from any sources, just from covering so many events over the past couple of decades in general with press conferences, that President Trump will come out and he will discuss some of the things that he discussed with the corporate leaders of America and also with the Senate Republicans, and then who will take time to have a pretty extensive Q&A, I believe. I think this is going to be a solid, I don't know, it could be a half an hour, it could be less, might even be a lot longer. So we'll see. But one thing I can guarantee you is this network will not shy away from covering the entire event from start to finish. We will not break away for a commercial break. We will float those commercials, and we will have the entire press conference from the start till that last question is asked by any members of the press. We'll have a brief recap after that. And then we will also talk about the rest of the plan for President Trump over the next 24 to 72 hours. A very busy weekend ahead. And it's interesting, it's all on his birthday weekend as President Trump celebrates that tomorrow, June 14th. And we will bring you that live coverage. So as soon as the president is done speaking with a few of the Senate leaders there, as you see we start to pan just a little bit there as we get close to the podium, we can see that they are going to accompany the 45th Commander-in-Chief. This is great to see in Washington right now. President Trump back in Washington, back with Senate leaders in Washington. That's just a great sight to see. So he'll step out any moment from now. And we will hear so many topics, I believe, in this press conference. You know, those reporters there, you know they're chomping at the bit to bring in all this information or all of their slanted questions. I believe there may be some conservative media there to ask questions. I know we have that crew there with our live camera as we take a live look right now. Excuse me. A number of more Senate leaders walking in right now as we await President Trump. Once again, you're watching Right Side Broadcasting Network. This is a great time right now to send that link to as many people as you can. Pass it along. And just know that, again, if you tried to watch any other outlets, cable outlets, it's just not going to be from start to finish. Now, they could go that way, but you got to remember, only recently are some of these other networks out there, mainly left-wing, covering a lot of these events because they're realizing, oh wow, President Trump won the primary in a landslide. Oh wow, there are tens of thousands of people at these rallies and at these events that are still supporting President Trump through thick and thin. And you know what? It really hasn't been so thick in the sense of, think about it. It's been a lot of lawfare going on. We know what President Trump did through 2016 to 2020. So he's facing all of these left-wing situations, and he's taking it in stride. As you see, any moment now, as he walks out of that door there, as the press is there, and the Senate leaders and the Secret Service, along with other security in Washington, D.C., there on Capitol Hill. So this is going to be quite the press conference at any minute. Now, the Palm Beach playbook, as I mentioned earlier, since Biden took office, overall prices are up 20.1%. Gas prices are up 55.3%. Airfare costs are up nearly 40%. Electricity prices up 29%. Rent costs are up 21.2%. Grocery prices are up 21.2%. These are the type of things that in Agenda 47 President Trump and his economic advisors, his staff, will be working on to reverse all of these detrimental and terrible things that have happened to our country, not only in the financial sector, but also just within our First and Second Amendment. Our Constitution is the law, and it's here to stay, and that's what we're hoping for, believing for, working hard for, and praying for. That great Constitution, that great, beautiful, amazing document is here to stay, and that's what we're hoping for. So we'll see what happens here 145 days from now as we await the general election. But as I mentioned, there are plenty of things that we can do as Americans to restore a free and fair election through True the Vote, Cause of America, precinctstrategy.com. There's a lot of, if we could take a live look there to the left, I'm not sure if our camera op can hear that, but if we can kind of see the amount of Senate Republicans there, I think that's Katie Britt out of Alabama there as well. The monitor here in the studio is a little bit far, but I do see a number of people. I mean, look at all of those people. They're supporting, standing behind President Trump. Well, if you didn't think that they were supporting President Trump, well, there they are now. We do know, I know that just because somebody stands behind President Trump doesn't always mean that they're full on in support. Well, we've seen that. Well, there's President Trump right now. We're going to go live there to Washington, D.C. You're watching Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Please.
Well, thank you very much. This was a great meeting. There's tremendous unity in the Republican Party. We want to see borders. We want to see strong military. We want to see money not wasted all over the world. We don't want to see Russian ships right off the coast of Florida, which is what they are right now. That's unthinkable. We want to see just success for our country. And we don't have success right now. We have inflation that's killing everybody. We have levels of inflation that nobody's seen for, they say 42 years, they say 53 years, and they say 75 years. I would say probably all of them are wrong. Probably we've never seen levels like this before. And we're going to end that. We're going to bring back our jobs. We're going to bring back common sense to government. We're going to have strong borders, and we're going to have people come into our country, but they're going to come in legally. They're not going to pour in from prisons all over South America and all over the world. And it's not just South America, by the way. It's all over the world. And we're not going to have them pour in from mental institutions, which is where they're coming from, large numbers, and large numbers are terrorists. And we're not going to have this. So what's happening to our country is of great concern to the group of people standing alongside of me. And I just wanted to say that we have great unity. We have great common sense. A lot of very smart people in this room and a lot of people that love our country. They love our country beyond just about all else. And the only thing that maybe supersedes it is their family and maybe their faith in certain instances. And that's very nice. But they want this country to be great again, and we're going to make it great again. And so I just want to thank the Republican Senate, and I want to thank also the House. We met, as you know, with the full House, Republican House today, and we had a tremendous meeting with them also, and there's great unity. Very similar, different topics, actually, but not that different. And there's one thing in common. We want to make America great again. We want to make our country great again. We're a nation that's in decline. We're a declining nation. We're a nation that is being laughed at all over the world. We have a leader that's being laughed at all over the world. And we're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around fast. The polls are looking like they're very strongly for us. And no matter where you look, in fact, a lot of states that people thought weren't in play are very strongly in play. Some we're actually leading in. But we have to get elected. We have to take this beautiful place, and we have to make it really something very special again. Right now, it's not special. Right now, it's being scorned and being used as an example of when they look at the crime on the streets, when they look at all of the problems that we have, they're using us as a bad example of democracy. And they're getting away with murder, and we're not going to let it happen. So I just want to thank you for coming, and I want to thank everybody here. You're all either elected or you're going to be elected again and reelected, and I'm with every one of you, and you know that. I'll be with you always. And thank you very much for inviting me, and we're going to have great success. I think we're going to have a tremendous election. It's November 5th is very important, but we really start much earlier than that. You have North Carolina. As an example, you have North Carolina September 6th. You have Pennsylvania starts on September 22nd. These are things different from the old days. We had Election Day, and you had paper ballots, and you had voter ID. Unfortunately, maybe someday we'll get back to that, but you don't have that right now. But this is an outstanding group of people. I'm with them 1,000%. They're with me 1,000%. We agree just about on everything, and if there isn't, we work it out. And I've had a really great relationship with just about everybody here, and just about all of the senators. And if it wasn't fantastic, it gets worked out. And we have one thing in mind, and that's making our country great. So thank you all very much. We appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.
Well done, John. Thanks. Yeah.
There you go, live look there in Washington, D.C. as President Trump, some short statements there with Senate Republicans, thanking the Senate Republicans. A little bit of news that he met with the House as well today, and then shaking a lot of hands there. You saw a number of senators there. I want to read you some quotes here. There is, quote, great unity in the Republican Party, Mr. Trump said. He also said they want this country to be great again, referring to the Senate Republicans and the Senate, the House members as well. The president said he met again with both the Senate and the House, and he said, quote, we have one thing in mind that's making our country great again. Now, obviously, if you were watching right before that, we were thinking that he was going to take and field questions, but nobody shouted out any questions in Washington, D.C. there. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised at that, but that's the way it rolled, and so we're covering it with you live right now. Having that camera in Washington, we know, again, he spoke with the Business Roundtable earlier today. Then he met with the National Republican Senatorial Committee and also, as you just heard there, met with the House. So no back and forth between the reporters and the president there. We know, to be honest with you, I know I talked about that a lot, that would be interesting to see the Q&A. Obviously, it didn't happen that time. Whenever it does, we will have it live in the sense of any future coverage when it comes to any Q&As back and forth. Now, we want to let you know that after the president is going from the nation's capital there on Capitol Hill, he will be heading towards Florida. And he will have a huge event tomorrow. This is the Club 47 in Palm Beach, Florida, to celebrate his birthday, but also to do a speech. And also, it's Flag Day, of course, tomorrow, June 14th. And then if you fast forward to Saturday, he'll fly from Florida to Michigan for some great events there as well. TPUSA we'll have the People's Convention, which will be quite awesome to see, as there are a number of conservative candidates there as well. And President Trump will speak on Saturday, including a mini rally in Detroit. And we're going to have live coverage throughout the weekend, so tomorrow and Saturday. It looks like Sunday and Monday, nothing scheduled at this point. Our next thing on the books is Tuesday in Wisconsin, and we will be there live. Vanessa Broussard will be in Michigan for us. We'll have a couple correspondents as well for Florida tomorrow. So we'll be seeing you again soon. But before we go, we do have to thank some great sponsors, including the Birch Gold Group, providing a partnership with us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. Text Trump to 9098. That's Trump to 989898. And you'll hear a lot of great information with connecting with the Birch Gold Group. So you'll have the info kit that you'll get so you can learn more about gold, silver, and precious metals. All you got to do is text Trump to 9098. Also, the Tax Network USA, any back taxes, or maybe you missed a file, or you'd like to get some assistance on filing, you can go to Tax Network USA. Tax Network USA, they've already helped a lot of Americans with back taxes. More than $1 billion in back taxes has been assisted with when it comes to the Tax Network USA. So they've got a long history right there, and you can see that number on your screen. Tax Network USA. The Wellness Company. The Wellness Company has an emergency kit for you, and it has a lot of great products in it to keep you healthy. MakeCareGreatAgain.com is the website to go to. Ivermectin, Z-Pak, make healthy great again. Make health great again, right? I mean, right now it's not something that you're seeing a lot of, because we're seeing the fact that a lot of pharmaceutical companies are trying to pour in all of these other kinds of medications, but some may be good, some maybe not. You'll have to consult your doctor, but also consult these guys, MakeCareGreatAgain.com. It's going to be a medical form that you'll have to fill out in order to receive the right prescriptions there. Once again, ivermectin and Z-Pak and more, as it says right there on the screen, MakeCareGreatAgain.com. Our final sponsor and final partner that we want to tell you about is the Free Trump Book, freetrumpbook.com. Mike Huckabee and his crew down there in Hendersonville, Tennessee, a gorgeous suburb outside of Nashville, Tennessee, has this book. This is something that will be great because it reverses the indoctrination of what some kids and some youth have had about America first and this country and President Trump. So get that book, freetrumpbook.com. You can get that for a small shipping and handling fee, but you get the book for free. freetrumpbook.com. Thanks to Mike Huckabee, the former governor there in Arkansas. So we want to thank you so much for watching Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm Matthew Alvarez. If you'd like to follow, it's at Matthew Alvarez on Truth Social, and also at RSBN on Truth Social. We've got a huge weekend coming up. Tomorrow night, we'll have a crew in Palm Beach for Club 47, President Trump's birthday, a speech. On Saturday, we'll also have live coverage from Michigan. For now, for all of us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, I'm Matthew Alvarez. We love you, America. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm excited to announce we're having a huge MyPillow spring sale. And here's a few examples. Buy one of our MyPillow 2.0s, you get another MyPillow 2.0 absolutely free. Made with cooling technology, the best pillow ever just got even better. And this just in, 9 brand new colors and styles of our Percale bed sheets. They're made with the finest long staple cotton, and now you can save 50% or more. That's as low as $24.98. And for the first time this year, I'm bringing you our My Slippers and Sandals for as low as $25 a pair. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your MyPillow 2.0s. Buy one, get one free. Percale sheets as low as $24.98. My Slippers and Sandals as low as $25 a pair. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free.
Parents and grandparents, the 2024 Kids Guide to President Trump is here, and it's free. As a bonus, your child gets a free issue of Everbright Kids Magazine and Activity Book, and a free video lesson. Order now at freetrumpbook.com. That's freetrumpbook.com.
What's up, guys? My name is Jaden Hurd, and I'm the host of the Let It Be Heard show here on RSBN channel. I would love for you guys to check me out. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Rumble, YouTube. We release episodes every single week regarding culture, Bible, social issues, politics, current events, anything. So if you're into any of that stuff, I highly recommend you check me out. God bless you guys, and stay safe out there.
Welcome to the Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're not like the other media outlets out there that cut and edit what other people say. In 2015, we were created by our founder, Joe Seals, to cover President Donald J. Trump's speeches and rallies, to which we continue to do to this day. We've also covered important conservative events like CPAC, tvOS, March for Life, and many other important events and hearings around the country. We were made for people like you, everyday Americans who are tired of the mainstream media, who are tired of being lied to, manipulated, and fed an agenda. Our goal here at Right Side Broadcasting is to allow you to see the truth, giving our correspondents and commentators a wide latitude to speak their minds. You won't find anything like this in the mainstream media. Your support through your donations, locals, and supporting our advertisers allows us to continue to cover important events around the country each and every day. So, from us here at Right Side Broadcasting, thank you for supporting us and the right side of history.